Yeah, Will here. It's March 24th, Sunday. I'm at David and Kristen Olson's homestead on the east side of Great Slave Lake. Dave's my pilot. It was kind of cloudy day, clearing up now. It looks like we're going to make a run for it tomorrow morning. So I was right. I should be in the Barrens here by probably in the afternoon sometime. So had a nice Sunday here. Dave's been flying on business. He does surveys for buffaloes, wolves, and that. Looks into a lot of biologists, and so he's been putting in a lot of hours. They usually take a Sunday off here at the homestead, which they did. And their daughter, who's 20, and another young woman that's 18, they were here. They're cross-country ski champions from Yellowknife. They're out doing a 5-day trip. Wilderness trip, hauling and camping. So normal routine here that you see in the States. It's a beautiful place. 36 dogs here. They're just following in the background. And wonderful. The weather is pretty pleasant here. It's about maybe 5 degrees, 10 degrees. Nothing too bad.
I'm going to talk a little bit about the mission of the expedition that I'm on. I usually, before an expedition, I like to lay out what the general plan is. I've done that most of my life. And but this expedition is going to be a little different, as I'm not immediately committing to a plan, a destination from point A to point B. I actually will be heading north towards the village of Cambridge Bay. It's probably 700 travel miles from where I'll start off. I'm going to head in that general direction. My first real goal would be to reach Bathurst Inlet, which is the Arctic Ocean, and that's maybe a little over 300 travel miles from my beginning point there on the divide between the Thelon and the Back River. I'll be traveling through a really rugged area that the ancient Inuit called the Area of Hardship and Starvation. It was named that, kind of an intriguing name always for me, but it was named that because it's a really rugged country, an area with questionable game and very difficult to travel through. So the Inuit aren't into really any sport back then. It's a matter of survival, and this country here was very difficult to survive in. So that's where that name came about. And actually, it's a area really rugged terrain that has kind of basically isolated the subculture of the Caribou or the Inuit, the Caribou or inland Inuit that lived in the interior and evolved in that area for many thousands of years, and it separated them from the main culture, the marine Inuit that branched all the way from Alaska across Canada and into Greenland. So it was this area on the northwest that kind of kept this subculture away. There was some slight communications back and forth, but not through this particular area. It's an area I've always wanted to travel through. It has a lot of relief to it. Very challenging, and I'll go day by day into that as I'm traveling. But once at Bathurst, I'll make a decision point. I would say 75% chance I'll probably head in the direction of Cambridge. I have some good friends there, and that's very attractive to me. But I have a couple of choices of route. I could do the sea ice route, which would be maybe a little easier route, but I most likely would go back inland. There's some rivers there that I don't think I've ever been down. It's really wild country, and that actually has the most appeal to me. There's a slight chance I might get into some country where I might want to just stay for a period of time, a month or so, and then there might be a slight chance I might want to, from the Arctic Ocean, loop back around to the Barrens. But most likely, in one way or another, I'll be heading in a northerly direction towards Cambridge. Probably a total distance of maybe 700 actual travel miles. These are all pretty rugged travel, so it's a little slow going. So, and then I'm planning to probably finish the expedition around, imagine June 15th. That's what I'm shooting for. I've got to be back to my responsibilities in Ely shortly after that. I don't have a time deadline like I had last year with the fundraiser, but I do have to get back end of June for sure. The weather so far, it's been a super cold winter. There's a major thaw came in about 10 days ago, and there's a forecast for kind of the region is kind of a normal spring for this month, and that forecast is taken with a little bit of a salt because there isn't any way of really forecasting the weather where I'm going. There isn't any weather stations for hundreds of miles in either direction. But one thing guaranteed, there'll be a lot of wind and some storms, and certainly a lot of winter weather yet. But my hope is to travel through the breakup this year. Last year was the record cold spring, and I didn't have a breakup, but I imagine this year I'm hoping for that. And I'm based out of Dave Olson's place, is where I'm flying into the east end of Great Slave Lake, 200 miles to my starting point, which actually is where I left off last year. I left the canoe in a tree, so I'll be starting there on this little river I call the Olison River. And then I'll have 2 resupplies along the way. Dave will be supplying me with a small airplane. It's not possible to live off the land, or else it's not legal to shoot or game. But I'm bringing a gun this time around for protection, and most likely will be fishing once the rivers start breaking up. So that could be a possible source of food. But so it's going to be a long trip, and it's a lot of unknowns. And
so I'll check in tomorrow. So tomorrow may be the day, and I'll check in then. We'll hear at Olison's homestead. Over and out.